Greetings, and welcome back to the MCOC Encyclopedia. Today, as promised, we'll be going through the paths from 8.1.1 that I recommended in my previous video with the teams I recommended using. This will allow you to get a little more insight into why I chose these teams and how I play around the nodes. This video will be much more relaxed, but I still suggest you go and watch that video first if you haven't already, as it contains most of the key information around this quest. And with that, let's jump in. So, here we are in 8.1.1, and we'll be starting off today with the Sabertooth path. The team today is 6-star rank 4 Hulkbuster, 6-star rank 4 Human Torch, 6-star rank 4 Sunspot, 7-star rank 2 Domino, and a Red Hulk. I think mine is 6-star rank 3, 2. It doesn't really matter for this path, he's just here for the synergy. I put out a poll asking roughly where people's rosters were, and this was about the right level. Most people said they were using 6-star rank 4s with a few 6-star rank 5s, so that's where we're looking as well. 6-star rank 5, 7-star rank 2, which is about the same. First up, we have the Sabertooth path and Sabertooth. Once you get this fight down, they go by very, very quickly. For example, we've got Sabertooth in the corner, we drain all of his power, and now we start dropping heavies. 75k, 84k, 94k, go for a risky one there, 100 and something k, and one more at 113k, and by the time I finished explaining what's going on, the fight's already over. Big damage heavy champions will do very well here. In the original video I suggested Doom. I don't know why I haven't brought him here. Doom will work very, very well, particularly if you bring the Annihilus Diablo synergy. That gives him guaranteed crits on his heavies. He would be doing a lot of nasty things to a lot of people here. Same goes for Silk with her heavies. Chavez the same. Colossus has massive heavies. There are lots and lots of champions you can use on this path. Second on the path, we have Hulk. I could have used a lot of champions here, but it seems kind of poetic that we have Hulkbuster, so we should probably use him here. I have let those Disorient stack up quite a lot, which is not advised, but I know I have very low block proficiency, and I can't parry at all. What concerns me more is Hulk's Furies. He's got 11, and if those get to, when those get to 15, he will go unstoppable. So right now we're just going for one tap. Did he go unstoppable? No. Well, one tap he did there, so we come out, and now we just wait. We just wait out the unstoppable. He has a lot of prowess, and if he throws a special, it's going to be night for us. However, Hulkbuster drains all of his power, and because Hulk doesn't have a fast stand-up animation, we can start dropping these heavy attacks back to back to back, go for a risky one, and that's a cool 250,000 right there. If Hulk had decided to throw a special one, we would have been stunned for quite a while, and that would have been a very bad time. Up next, we have Sauron, and we'll be switching things up a bit by using Domino. Now, Domino, her heavy attacks aren't the biggest, but I mean, this is this path, so you can still get very large heavy attacks. But what makes Domino good here is the Red Hulk synergy. You can see we crit for 150k, and then that ticked for a whole bunch of ticks of 40k, and Sauron's already on 20% in 4 hits. Now, I'm not quite sure why Sauron managed to go unblockable twice there, but he did, so we're just going to have to deal with that. But one thing that you cannot ever forget with weapon nodes is you still have your regular damage. So we started this fight, we did a huge amount of damage with the heavies, but we're going to close it out with basic attacks and a special too. Your regular damage is always there, so don't forget about it. If there is a weapon path that you can't go through for some reason, obviously look at other paths, but keep an eye out that you can just go through it, as long as you can disable the node. Oh, Sunspot's only rank 3. Never mind, 6-star rank 3 Sunspot. Here we have Elsa Bloodstone, and we're going to be doing basically the same thing again. However, I failed to parry at the start. That wasn't anything interesting, that was just me not being able to parry. So, why is Domino particularly powerful on this path and other champions aren't? This node affects the damage of your heavy attacks. It does not affect anything that triggers on said heavy attacks. So, for example, Apocalypse triggers bleeds on his heavy attack, and they will not change damage on this path. They do about 400 per tick, and that will be constant here as well. However, the damage of Domino's Incinerate is the same, well, it's scales, I think it's the right word. It scales based on the damage that the heavy does. So when the heavy does more damage, the Incinerate does more damage. It's a subtle difference, but very important for this node, and it will not apply to most champions. For example, Hulkbuster here applies shocks on his heavy attack. I don't know why I started the fight off with a heavy, it probably wasn't my wisest manoeuvre. But they are still only ticking for about 200. That's because that's what they do. So bait out his special 2, go for another heavy, it whiffs, but we throw the special 1 to keep ourselves safe. Go for some heavy chains here, that was nice 72k, 81k. But now we have to wait another 10 seconds so we can disable the node again. It's no big deal, but that's what that red timer going around at the moment means. Wait for that to go away, then we can disable the node. So there we go, comes back, get rid of it straight away. Whiff a special 1, which I would have really liked to stun him, but never mind. And a nice 189k crit to finish it off. You can do this path with champions even if they don't have particularly massive heavies, because, what was it, 800% heavy boost, 600% heavy boost? 600, I think. It's still quite a lot. Last up on the path, we have Hitmonkey, and here I make my first proper mistake on this path. Hitmonkey gets bonuses versus mercenary champions, and Domino is a mercenary champion. So he will be purifying my Incinerates, which is slightly unfortunate. It's not something we can't deal with. He managed to evade there as well, but it's just unfortunate. There, I just failed. That's my bad. So we're just keeping an eye on those timers. We're going to go for another one. He's going to shrug that as well. The damage off the heavies is still very, very good, but we just have to keep an eye out for the fact that I can't seem to fight at all. So again, don't forget about your regular damage. We've got a crit bleed there, unfortunately. He shrugged that. We've got to watch out for those prowess. If he launches a special 2 now, we're going to have a few issues. There we go for a heavy of our own. He evades, so the node is still there, so we've got to be careful. Parry, go for a heavy here. There we go. So we've managed to get rid of that. We managed to get the Incinerate stuck there. I'm not quite sure how that all came together, but never mind. There we go. He shrugged that one off as well. So I think one more big special 2, and this fight should be pretty much good to go. Should I have healed up before this fight? Almost certainly. Did I? No. So special 2. No crits on that, unfortunately, so he's still around. So again, we're just going to wait it out. These fights often end very quickly, or can end very, very slowly. So that time we knew he was going to shrug, so now we can go with our basic damage. Special 1 probably would have closed it out there. Should have really gone for it. But basic attacks do the job just fine. And that is the path. A bit clumsy at the end with Domino, but Hitmonkey is the hardest fight on that path. As always, use the champion swapper if you need it. The boss we'll be taking this quest is Strife. If you are a good Ghost player, you can also take Hood. I would not recommend you take Red Skull. The way to go in this fight is Incinerates. We have Biotic Adaptation to deal with as well, but after that, really not very much. I have done this fight a few times in my testing and have never once been rooted by the root node. It's not a big deal. If you do get rooted, don't panic. If you have a special, you can throw that to get out of it. We're parrying some of Strife's extra attacks here just to keep our smolders up. But above 10 temperature, sorry, Human Torch can't miss. So Strife can't do a huge amount here. However, we have made a small mistake now, which is we are applying our Nova Flames, which aren't counted as Incinerates by the node. So we might just have to watch out for a couple of ruptures from Biotic Adaptation, but they really don't do very much damage. Biotic Adaptation, though, does trigger before your attack. For example, here, we currently have no Incinerates on Strife. We hit him, and we still get incinerated. So the way it works is you hit the opponent, that triggers the node. Then, once the node has triggered, and you've been ruptured or not, it then applies Human Torches or anyone else's Incinerates. So do just keep an eye out for that. Here, we're going to full send it. We've got quite a few Incinerates going, so we're going to drop a couple of heavies. Here we're just going to bait out his special 2. He's ticking away really, really nicely. Just going to bait the special 2. Going to bait the special 2. Unfortunately, we get caught on the dashback, and as much as we do manage to get him, we are actually rooted. That's the first time I think I've been rooted in all of this. Which means we're going to eat Strife's special 3. He is on 1% health. That's quite unfortunate. But with 486 health left, this is why we bring 2 boss options. So Sunspot is going to do this fight in one hit. Sunspot is the most powerful champion in the game. We can now confirm. As always, don't forget to move to that end node. Don't quit out. Feel silly. It is a bit silly, but I have seen people do it. So make sure you're not one of them. Okay, path 2. This is the Blade path, which is a special 2 boost. The team now is still Sunspot and Torch at 6-star rank 3 and rank 4 respectively. 6-star rank 3 only, Massacre, he'll do some very nasty things on this path. 7-star rank 2 Hulk, and apologies, we are using the big Professor X, he is 6-star rank 5 Ascended, though in the polls some people did say they had access to these champions, so I don't feel too bad about using him. He is very, very good, and as you'll probably see in the Miles fight, he's overkill, so if you've got a 6-star rank 3, 6-star rank 4 Professor X, you'll do just fine. This Blade fight has started off very, very well. We are just about to disable the node by parrying him like that, and with a few incinerates and what Massacre does best. Yeah, that didn't last very long. Massacre or Massacre is excellent on this path. He has very large special 2s if you throw them into block, add some incinerates for a reduction in block proficiency. He does some very, very nice things indeed. Up next, Miles, and we have Professor X. Again, big Professor X. It's not a huge deal. Basically, all you need for this fight is a miscounter, and even then, you don't really. It just makes things a little bit easier. But we'll be doing standard Professor X things, building our charges. We know that I've got my Falter available, so once we bait out his special, we can just kind of spam heavy attacks till he hits into us. He can't touch us because he has no miscounter. There, he should have got that intercept. I've noticed a few weird things recently, the last couple of updates with intercepts. I seem to lose them more than I should, but by the by, Dex special 1. Get some extra charges. We're just sort of trying to line up Professor X. We've got the right amount of power, so we can absolutely burst him down with a couple of big special 2s. 1, 2. Oh, get clipped by that. So we do have a weakness on us. No big deal. Waiting out the debuff immunity now. Waiting out debuff immunity is what you will spend a lot of time doing in these fights, so get used to it. Parry, big special 2. We can't miss. Get some prowess. The damage is pretty good. Pick up another couple of prowess. Unfortunately, that whiffs slightly, but, it's Professor X, he does huge special 2s. But, as always, don't forget about your base damage, and with one special 1, the fight is over. Again, Professor X, massive overkill. If you had a, rank 3, rank 4 Professor X, he would do just as well. 7-star rank 1, exactly the same. Up next, we have Kraven. In this fight, we have to look out for his traps and that sort of thing, but we're going to be using Massacre again. And this guy isn't really that much of an issue. You will find when doing a lot of Act 8 paths that you will have one champion that's really, really good for a certain path, and you will probably end up using them for a lot of that path. Massacre does gain extra power when hitting into the opponent's block, so we can also use that as a way to build power ourselves. Kraven's an issue if he throws his special 1, so we're just not going to let him do that at all. Dex out of the end of the special 2. Wait out the debuff immunity. It's very, very short then because we had some debuffs on him already. One special 2 into block. And the fight's over. Massacre is absolutely phenomenal for this path. This is a 6-star rank 3. If you have a higher ranked one, even a maxed out 5-star Ascended would do just fine here as well. Up next we have Mojo, and we're going to be using Hulk. And spoiler alert, this fight goes dreadfully. However, as I've said a few times, never forget about your base damage. Yes, you get massively rewarded if you can follow what the node is telling you to do. However, if you can't follow what the node is telling you to, don't worry. You still have your base damage. Now here the degen's not doing a huge amount of damage, so I take note of that failing a few prompts isn't going to be the biggest problem, though I probably am going to fail too many, and along with the traumas, we're actually back at full health from willpower healing. So what I'd like to do now, I'd like to build to 15 Furies, stun him, drop a massive special 2, but he has other ideas. He throws a special 1, so now he's gone debuff immune again. I'm just trying to, I'm at 12 Furies now, he drops another special 1, so he's gone debuff immune again, and at this point, I'm just going to do Hulk things. There's no reason to not. We've got all of my charges. That whiffs somehow. So I'm just going to make sure that he can't throw a special. So now debuff immunity has gone away. So he can take our massive physical vulnerability. Give him the dislike to the soul. At this point, I don't want him to throw another special because that'll get rid of all of my physical vulnerabilities. So we're going to stun him and just do Hulk things. There, I don't know how he got through my block. I'm trying to build to special 2, but again, why bother? Go for the special 1. That's what Hulk does. An incredibly sloppy fight, don't get me wrong. But you don't have to follow the node. If things are going wrong, do what your champion does. Don't worry about doing exactly the right thing. Up next, we have Misty Knight, and guess who is coming back to play? Massacre is going to do some very good things, but Misty Knight can be a tricky defender with her unblockable and her ability to start evading you all over the place. So we're just going to avoid giving her too many charges. She's got 3, 4 of each. As long as they stay below about 6, you're doing all right. Her shrug off chance, I believe, is 3 times whatever the left-hand one is, so it's currently 18%, and I believe her evade chance is equal to percentage of whatever the right-hand one is, so it's currently 4%, I think, but I'm not entirely sure. However, parry her, she's got unblockable, doesn't matter. Fight's over. Can't have any problems if the fight only lasts 30 seconds. That's not true, you can have a lot of problems in 30 seconds, but you get my point. Last up on the path we have Yellow Jackets, and I considered using Massacre, but we've seen him a few times, and I would like a really big special 2 out of Hulk. Should we have healed up before this fight? Yes. Did we? No. Willpower is going to help us out heal up just a little bit here as well. Yellow Jacket, we have to worry about his special 1, his power sting, so we're just going to back off because it's so much easier to dex Yellow Jacket special 1 if you're a long way away from him. Can you do it when you're up close? Absolutely you can, but it is quite annoying. So we're going to either back off, there we go, we're going to reparry, 15 Furies, bam, 400k, 140k. I would have really liked it to crit, but, you know, it was 140k plus 80k from the Trauma Burst. We go for a special 1, and that is what a Hulk fight should look like on this path. Okay, that is the path done. Up next, we have the boss. Stick an energy refill in there. As always, if you didn't watch the first half, you have a champion swapper. Use it if you need it, don't if you don't. In the first half of the video, if you skip to this bit, we used Human Torch for this fight, so I will be using Sunspot this time round. He's only 6-star rank 3, rank 4 would do a little bit better, but let's see how he does. So, as I said in the first time round, the node triggers before your Incinerate does, hence why we have 2, now 3 ruptures. But honestly, they tick for 38, so they're basically free willpower healing if you keep them below about 5, which with champions like Torch and Sunspot is very, very easy to do with the number of Incinerates they apply. We've got to 3 stacks of Sunspot's Flare State. Now, he has no miss counter, so we are just sort of going to have to wait around now. But his miss is not that long, and given his extended parry window, no issues there. Here, in hindsight, definitely should have gone for, another special 1, some more Flare State, but let's test how much damage we get out of this one. 28k non-crit, 80k crit, 70k crit at the end there, so he's down to about half health, so if we just do that again, fight's over. So we're just going to bait out a special 2. I said we're just going to bait out a special 2. Just going to tap him there just to reset the timer. He is quite close to special 3, so we're just going to bait out a special 2. Nope, we're going to full send it. I should not have full sent it. We get no crits on there. If we'd had 1 crit on there, we would have been alright. However, now we're just praying in the corner, and we're going to eat another one of Strife's special 3s. If you're doing this path yourself, don't be like me. Don't be impatient. Do it properly. However, given that we gave Sunspot a chance to help Human Torch, let's give Human Torch a chance to help Sunspot. This is why we bring 2 boss counters. Just don't use Human Torch's pre-fight here. That means you'll apply Nova Flames, which aren't counted as Incinerates for this node. So realistically, we've only got a couple of heavy attacks, and this guy's going to be absolutely melted. We go for heavies to charge our temperature. More temperature means better Incinerates, and, well, we can't miss when above 10 temperature, which is very useful versus Strife. But before you know it, fight's over. Human Torch clearing up Sunspot's mess in the same way that Sunspot cleared up Human Torch's mess. As always, move to that end node, don't quit out, and feel silly. So, there you have it. Everything you need to know to clear all of 8.1.1. If you have any questions, please do leave them in the comments down below, and consider joining the Discord server linked in the description. A great place to get specific advice, make suggestions for future video topics, and while I'm awake, I do my best to be there as much as possible. Thank you, and I will see you next time.